Oh, hello. It is I, Edward. Oh, wow. Actually, Raider Nation's in the chat. Check that out. I figured I'd be doing this for an audience of nobody. Because this is totally impromptu. But it's good to see you, Raider. How you doing, my dude? How you doing? Um, yeah, so why is this happening? For everyone watching the stream after the fact, which I think will be pretty much everybody, because yeah, it's the middle of the day, and I did not like announce this ahead of time at all. I have the day off unexpectedly, um, because unfortunately we here at Wauwatosa are under a little bit of a curfew. There's been a little unrest in the area recently. We're not going to comment on that except to say Black Lives Matter. All right, that's what we're saying about it. And so I don't have to go into work today, which is a double-edged sword because I don't get paid. But at the same time, I get to day drink. And I was thinking, as long as I'm stuck in here, not doing anything, just hanging out, I might as well film it. Right? So I figured we'd do a couple things. Oh, hey, Beth Higgins is in. Awesome. Cool. Now it's a party. But yeah, as long as I've got the day off, and we're gonna do an impromptu stream, it's gonna happen. Hey, Floyd's listening from work. That's awesome. So we recently got in some Old Charter over at the store. So Old Charter is the like bargain basement version of the Buffalo Trace product. Same mash bill as your regular Buffalo Trace. That's what is that, mash bill 1? Or is that mash bill 2? I don't actually know. But it's the same mash bill as your base Buffalo Trace product, except that obviously it comes in a plastic 750. And I'm sure it's not aged as long. It used to have an 8-year age statement back when. They actually got in some trouble when they took the age statement off, because what they did was they left the 8 on there. Maybe you can see that. Yeah, they left the 8 on there. And they, instead of saying 8, it's like, oh, it was distilled for 8 seasons, which is what? That's like 2 years. Oh, it'll be all years. That's fair. You don't need to see me anyway. I'm an ugly sumbitch. But yeah, so basically, this used to be older. They definitely do not age it as long now. I mean, it's kind of the bargain basement thing. But the fact is that we really don't get any Buffalo Trace products whatsoever here in southeastern Wisconsin. Now we do, I will say we do get some, but a lot of times it gets sent to on-premise sellers. On-premise sellers get a lot of our Buffalo Trace allocation. And when you do find it at a liquor store, it's either in small numbers or it's for some sort of special event, like they're going to put out a store pick or they're going to put out their bottles all at once, something like that. So it's not something you usually see day to day. Even the base Buffalo products, I'm talking the Eagle Rares and the base Buffalo Traces. I'm serious. Like I know everyone's trying to find the Blantons and the William LaRue's, or actually just the regular Wellers. The William LaRue is obviously coming out right around now. But the regular Wellers, even the regular Wellers are hard to find right now. But in southeastern Wisconsin, it's hard to even find base products, man. It's crazy. So Old Charter, man, that's kind of your most basic of basic Buffalo Trace. This is one we still have. This H&H and Benchmark are still floating around. Not so much the other guys. Actually, as long as I've got an extra glass, why don't we compare it to its older brother, the standard Buffalo Trace product, which I actually bought this in Madison because it's so ridiculously hard to find here. Hey, Sawyer fam, how you doing, man? Yes, we're doing a little impromptu drinking. I'm off of work today unexpectedly, so I've decided to do a little stream. As long as I'm drinking, I might as well film it. So, you know, for something that came out of a plastic bottle, like a cheap little 750 plastic bottle, the old Charter, doesn't smell bad. It smells very caramely. Hey, Matt, how you doing? Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for popping in. It smells very caramely. It smells a little nutty. I would say kind of a waxy nuttiness. With just a hint of, I was gonna say like banana bread. I was gonna say, yeah, banana bread. I find with younger bourbons and Tennessee whiskeys in particular, you know, the what do you call it? Your Jack Daniels for sure. You get a lot of that straight up banana. This isn't so much that. This is a little bit more bready. But you can tell it's a little young. It's got that kind of thin astringency. Whiskey Crusaders is working on Swillmageddon. Yes, that's awesome. If you haven't signed up yet, you can go check out our video. It's on the channel. Should be on like one of our last 3 videos. Find out how to enter. I'm going to be sending emails out to everyone who sent me an email, either today or tomorrow, to confirm your entry. And then I'll give you the address and get it sent. You can send them in. So expect a notification within the next day or so. Hey, what's going on, Dram Bam? How you doing? Yeah, let's get a taste, hey. Yeah, that's really thin on the taste. Not a lot going for that. The nose actually smells a lot better. The nose smells a lot better than this tastes, for sure. The nose is more rich and caramely. The taste on this is just so thin. Like it's not blended whiskey thin. It's not like Old Thompson thin. But yeah, it's definitely, you can tell there's not a lot of wood interaction here. This is a pretty just smooth drinker. Like it hits you, you don't really taste much, and it's gone. I mean, but that's why a lot of people like Buffalo Trace products. And if you're paying for if you're gonna buy the lower end thing, then are you really too mad if it doesn't taste like much? Because like you're kind of buying this just to get drunk, right? Oh, Beth Higgins brings up a good point. What is the price? I believe I paid $15 for the 750. So probably like 23 for a handle, approximately. Yeah. Real cheap stuff. I mean, this is why they made Old Charter. It's to just kind of, yeah, bottom out. Which is funny because they already had Benchmark and old Ancient Age, which are kind of their bottom shelf stuff. But I guess Ancient Age is probably slightly older, I'm guessing, than this. Maybe they just needed something really cheap, so they're like, all right, get rid of the age statement. Let's make this thing as cheap as possible. I don't hate it. There's just not a lot there. It's just not like there. It tastes like a very slight caramely and maybe a very slight nutty, and then it's gone. There you go. Let's compare it to its big brother right quick. The standard Buffalo Trace. Ancient Age preferred, yeah, that's fair, dude. I do not disagree. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Buffalo Trace is already a very easygoing like it's a pretty easygoing little sumbitch, right? It's not like it's super ridiculously complex or crazy or anything like that. It does what it does well, which is to be caramely sweet, cherry, you know, just a hint of that kind of tea spice. So it's like that kind of vegetal spice. There's a little bit there from the rye, but not a lot. It's mostly there to be a nice, sweet, entry-level whiskey for people who are interested in that kind of thing. But comparing the Old Charter to the Buffalo Trace, this Buffalo Trace is so much woodier. Like, this is so much more tannic than the Old Charter. Old Charter has that kind of new make, funky, astringent. It's not as quite astringent, but it's that weird kind of fake fruit, kind of a weird itty bitty fake fruity taste, like some sort of old timey fruity candy. Whereas this has more of that. This is more like bigger. This is like a true fresh fruit, melony with some of that new oak tannic thing going on. I mean, it's still easygoing. It's still not a whole lot of punch on the nose, but obviously, when you actually give this some time to age, you give their mash bill some time to age, it picks up more of that wood, that estery stuff. You know, the esters have more time to form within the whiskey, gives it more of that meloniness, gives it more of that wood spice. Yeah. Yeah. I like Buffalo Trace. I think the nice thing about it is, like, you get the sweet melon, you get a little bit of the wood sugar, the little carameliness, and then it finishes out with a little bit of bite, a little bit of that dark cherry, a little bit of tannic bite, and you're done. Like this Old Charter though, this disappears, right? This is gone. Like the instant it leaves your mouth, it is gone. You don't even know that you drank it, right? Whereas at least with Buffalo Trace, it hangs around a minute longer. So that's nice. It does. This is by no means. I think Beth Higgins is saying classic bourbon at a fair price point, right? Yeah, $25, $30. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I think the thing is that the association. The problem is, especially here in Southeast Wisconsin, is that the association with bigger, more rare brands has kind of elevated this guy into the national zeitgeist in a way that it has become maybe adored above its station a little bit. But then again, I can't get mad at people who come into the store and are just looking for Buffalo Trace products. A lot of them are new to whiskey. They want a bourbon that is very, very easygoing, very, very sweet, doesn't hurt them. And Buffalo Trace does that. Buffalo Trace has some richer flavors than your lower shelf stuff like Old Charter without being big and painful and tannic or hot or a lot of the things a new whiskey drinker doesn't like, you know? I think that's also true for other brands. I wish people would maybe try some other brands. Like, if you come into my store looking for Buffalo Trace and that's all you want, that's cool. I get it. You just want your Buffalo Trace. And if we don't have it for you, you're going to head out. That's okay. But like, give something a try, you know? Try some Heaven Hill products, or try a little bit of something else, or maybe some of the new craft stuff we got in. Whatever it is, give it a try. Take a flyer on a bottle, because, like, yeah, this is solid, but is it the most interesting thing? Maybe not. I think people, if they were a little more adventurous and a little bit more willing to take a risk, Old Forester, but at twice the price. I think that's the thing. People need to take if people were to take a little bit of a flyer, on another bourbon brand, I think they'd probably find something they really love. Hey, Mr. Hardiman. How are you, Aaron? Good to see you. We don't get the bottom end BT here in Massachusetts. I don't think you're missing much, dude. Yeah, honestly. Like Old Charter, it's a thinned down Buffalo Trace, as far as I can tell. It really is. Like the same backbone is there, sweet, melony, caramely. That's about it. But then you get in, then you taste it, and it's like, yeah, that's thin. The taste is really where Old Charter kind of falls on its face, right? The nose is okay. You get into the taste, it's thin. It's thin, and it really doesn't have a lot going for it, which they kind of corrected with the base product. So, say what you will for Buffalo Trace and the ridiculous tater hunting mindset that it has sprung up. They make solid shit. They make solid shit. So, at the end of the day, that's what it is. Yeah, try some other damn whiskey though. Give another whiskey a try. Break out of the Buffalo Trace like zone for a little while if you can. Oh, Patrick Cohn's in it. Hey, been a minute since I've seen you. How you doing? You can't get the mellow corn though. There you go. Nothing wrong with mellow corn. It is corn. Yeah, Poitín. How you doing, Mr. Eric McDaniel? Yeah, we're about to get into Poitín. Should have brought another glass for that, but that's okay. We're gonna rinse our glass out with the Poitín. Then we'll pour ourselves some more Poitín to actually taste. Because this is day drinking. I got nothing to do. I got nowhere to go. Although I'm going to have to get out of here. Erica's lunch break is coming to an end, and I don't want to bother her too much. She's in here with me. She actually has to do work today. All right. So let's get this nice and cleaned out. Don't need any Old Charter in here. All right. So, let's talk about this Poitín. We did have this on a stream a while back, but I wanted to pay a little bit more attention to it because this is kind of fun. This is Glendalough Poitín, which is actually really fun because it's made in the traditional style. Now, I actually just found out that Dubliners, like East Coasters, say Glendalough. I learned how Irish in the Connacht style, so I call it Glendalough, which is the correct pronunciation because Dubliners are basically just English people. But yeah. Anyway, I do root for the Dublin hurling team, but yeah. Otherwise, Dubliners are a bunch of Jackeens. Anyway, but Glendalough is Valley of the Two Lakes. Famous for St. Kevin. St. Kevin built a monastery there. And so Poitín is basically Irish moonshine, right? Irish moonshine that traditionally it was actually more made in the style of whiskey. This is probably closer to what whiskey was in the 1200s to like 1400s. This is probably close to what whiskey was at the time. Obviously today you can kiln your barley rather than peating it, so that's a little bit different. But this is somewhat close to what Irish monks were making probably around that time period. I think the first mention of Ishkabaha is from the Annals of Clan MacNish, which was around like 1300, and then I think about 1400 it showed up in Scotland. Shouldn't we be working now? No, actually I have the day off. I unfortunately, due to some of the events happening here in Wauwatosa, I was not able to work today. So hopefully I'll be back at work tomorrow, but as long as I had the day off, I'm going to come on here, hang out with you guys. But yeah, so Irish monks were making this. They were making it out of all malted barley, which was kind of the origin of single malt. Up until, I mean, there's historical records that say people on the islands, the Hebrides between Ireland and Scotland, were probably making it with other grains pretty early on in its production. We're talking like 1500s to 1600s. But that really didn't get codified and become a real thing in Ireland, until like that still became a thing, probably late 1700s. So up until that point, single malt was really what all whiskey was. But of course, it was unaged. People really didn't start aging their stuff until they started transporting it. They started getting sherry barrels from Spain and started moving it in those, and then figured out, hey, this tastes better. Oh shit! Got that old Overholt 114. That's neat. I haven't had that. Well, I mean, it's a special Ohio release, so that makes sense. Thank you, my dude. Yeah, I love old Overholt. I was talking with a colleague the other day, and they were wondering, like, what's your preferred rye? Just like a basic rye. I told them, get old Overholt. Get yourself some old Overholt, or the bottle and bond old Overholt, whichever. They're both really good. Screw the Scots. We are not a sectarian show on this channel, but I agree with the sentiment. To be fair, Erica always makes fun of me. She always says that if I ever do one of those genetic tests, I'm probably going to turn out to be more Scots-Irish than I am Irish. My ma is just she's a Fenian. She's very much a Fenian. Not in a violent sense, but just in an ethnic sense. So, but yeah. So anyhow, the fun thing with this is Poitín wasn't actually a like recognized legal designation up until 2008 in Ireland. Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, it wasn't actually recognized until 2008, and I actually don't think they had a technical file until 2015. I think it was given geographic designation in 2008. 2015, they actually created a technical file. Donald Rance, I'm sure can correct me because he is the expert on all things Irish whiskey. Irish whiskey Yoda over here. But actually, the technical file is interesting because it doesn't actually require the use of grain, which is fair because Poitín was traditionally made illegally. I mean, Poitín in a commercial form is even kind of a misnomer, right? Poitín literally means like illegal pot distilled liquor. So for a long time, people were making it out of whatever they could get. That means they were making it out of sugar beets, whey, cereal grains, whatever they could get their hands on, they would make this. And this was kind of a staple, especially in the western area of Ireland, which traditionally has been more Gaelic, more associated with the old Gaelic order. This was very much a staple of the household. Add it to your oatmeal in the morning, whatever. But when they legalized it, so to speak, that technical file then reflected that they weren't just making it out of malted barley anymore. They were making it out of all this other shit. So today in Ireland, you can make legal Poitín out of whey, sugar beets, a couple other things, but you can also just make it out of cereal grains, which is what they did here. This is basically Glendalough's triple distilled single malt new make. So they're at, and this is what they call the mountain strength Poitín. This is at 55% alcohol. So what is that? 110 proof. So this is heavy. This is heavy. Eli Cook, hey, how you doing, my dude? And then they moved to Kentucky. Yeah. A lot of like, that's the interesting thing. A lot of distilling in America really is a mixture of Scots-Irish and German distilling traditions. Like German distilling traditions heavily used rye. And so when they got to the northeast of America, they tend to use rye in their mash bills. A lot of the Scots-Irish who came over from Ulster were still doing moonshining when they got to Kentucky, but they adapted what they were doing to use corn rather than malted barley. Although people use maize in Ireland, of course, too. So it wasn't like there was a big difference in terms of the distillation techniques. It was just, we're going to change the grain that has the most importance. Hey, Jason Busey. All right, I've talked enough about history and technical files and bullshit. So let's get into this. This is punchy. AJ Lopez, what's going on, my dude? You're amazing. Aw, thank you, dude. That's the weird thing. Corn in Britain and Ireland doesn't mean maize, right? It just means grain. So if you want to be correct when you're talking about the usage of grains in Irish whiskey, they distill barley and maize, not barley and corn. So, hey, Sir Tannen's in. Oh, nope, there he is. Yes, we have graduated to the Poitín. Could they do seaweed for fermenting? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. Does seaweed have enough sugar in it to really be fermentable? I don't know. I mean, I could see it. Like, that's what a lot of people don't realize, that seaweed, especially in Connacht, was a big part of the Irish diet. Because after the Cromwellian invasion pushed everybody off their land and into the western area of Ireland, especially around Galway or Galway, a lot of people turned to seaweed farming because that was what you had to eat. There's a lot of people doing interesting stuff with like seaweed casks and like smoking seaweed. I don't know about fermenting it though. That would be an interesting thing. So fun story. I run a side business, Whiskey Experience MKE. If you want to go check us out, it's in the interwebs, we-mke.com. But I gave this to a group of tasting I was doing, a bunch of relatively new people to whiskey, just to see how they would react before we got into like the age stuff. And I was thinking they were going to hate it, right? I was thinking they were going to despise it. But they didn't. They actually thought this was really, really solid. And like, there is a really funky wet dog kind of smell to it. But there's also this like lovely fruity thing going on. I mean, I would compare it to like just a really, like, it's got this kind of tarmacy, like burned hair kind of thing, which doesn't sound good, right? Like tarmac and burned hair sounds really, 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 really bad. But it's balanced out with this kind of like citrusy apple kind of thing, which you don't really find in an aged malt. You don't find this particular kind of fruitiness in an aged malt. You would usually just get like the esters that have formed from the barrel combining with the congeners in the whiskey. This is like just this weird, pure citrus, honeydew, melon freakiness, which is kind of fun. I mean, it is funky as a motherfucker, though. Like, you can see why they would want to age this, because it does round off that funky kind of wet dog burned hair stuff. But at the same time, it's got that delightful fruity note that you just don't get when it's been barrel aged. So it's kind of fun that way. AJ Lopez, this is the Mountain Strength, so 110 proof, 55% alcohol. They do make, I believe, I think, Don, you might have to correct me on this. I think it's a 45% version. Glendalough does. They do a 45% version, and I think they do a barrel-aged version as well, which I would like to try that. I think it's a sherry barrel-aged version of the Poitín, but I don't know. I think that could be really good, but it kind of defeats the purpose a little bit, I would think. Yeah, and actually on the taste, you don't even really get any of that like wet dog. The nose has a little bit of wet dog, which is whatever. On the taste though, that's honeydew melon. That is like a little bit of citrus. Then it just comes in with that nutty, malty, like malted milk balls and not peanuts. What nut am I thinking? Malted milk balls and cashew. That's what it is. It's malted milk ball and cashew is what's in here on the taste. And you get that like just a drying, malty graininess. It just sticks with you. It just kind of hangs on your tongue. And then all that fruity, like underripe melon kind of hangs in the back of your throat. Like every time I breathe, I'm just like, and it's just like melon. So hey, Spencer Mapp is in. How you doing, my dude? 40% version. Okay. Thanks, my dude. Wet dog, like someone misinterpreted, misheard white dog. I went in the wrong direction with flavors. I mean, that's probably because there is some amount of like a tail element in this. Like there's probably some tails in this that would have been shaped and evened out by barrel aging. And because they didn't barrel age it, it kind of still hung out here, right? The nice thing though is my personal opinion. Oh, Mark Goings-on is in. Nice. How you doing, my dude? Did I already say hi to you? I'm not sure. Like my thing is, if you're going to take a wider cut, I would prefer you take a cut into the tails rather than taking a cut into the heads. Simply because I think the tails are so much more, not phenolic exactly, but kind of edging in that phenolic direction, where it's funkier, it's deeper, it's darker, it's more of a earthy kind of taste. Whereas the heads, if you make a whiskey too headsy, it becomes super chemically, super like, I think aldehyde-y. I don't know if that's actually the chemistry behind it, but it tastes aldehyde-y to me, like super fake green apple, like weird, nasty chemically. So like, oh, I did already? Okay, good. Like this fella right here. Like we were trying to figure out what went wrong with this. And so the first thing, this is Wyoming whiskey. This was a single barrel that went horribly wrong. Nothing against Wyoming whiskey generally, but this particular barrel went wrong. The fun thing is like and I wouldn't say fun. Fun is the wrong word. The weird thing to experiment with this one is figuring out what went wrong in the process. Because first thing is, this smells corked, right? This smells like it's fucking corked, like a corked wine. Very rarely you will find a whiskey that is corked. Like I found, like, we had a bottle of Angel's Envy that someone returned at the shop the other day, fucking corked, like regular old Angel's Envy port finished, corked as a motherfucker, and it smells aldehyde. It smells like this weird chemical mineral spirits mixture. But the thing is, this is not a real cork. The one they put in, let's see if I can get that to focus. There we go. The one they put in Wyoming Whiskey isn't a real cork, so it can't have corked the whiskey. Plus, this was a multiple bottle problem. So that means they must have taken just a massive fucking heads cut, right? Like if it is this aldehyde and chemically, and it's not a cork problem, then that leads me to believe that they took a massive fucking heads cut, didn't give it enough time to age in the barrel, and all that chemically mineral spiritsy bullshit just stayed in the whiskey. That's the opposite of what we got here. This one, this leans into that tails. This leans into the tails, which I think is awesome. Like, obviously, would it be a little smoother, more easygoing had it not, like, kind of been like unaged tailsy? Probably. But this has character. This is fun. So, yeah. No, I have not had the Glendalough pot still yet. I would love to. But yeah, so I enjoy this one. I think this one is a lot of fun. If you are interested in trying some pretty decent new make, this is a fun one to do. I'm trying to think of what else. New make wise, I think we had a Bunnahabhain that was pretty good. The Bunnahabhain Mona. Erica insists that it's pronounced Moina because that's how the Scottish pronounce it. I'm Irish though, so I say Mona. But yeah, that one was really good. I think you can't go wrong with peated new make, right? That's awesome. And honestly, I think you can't really go wrong with like a single malt new make. So I like this one. I like it a lot. I don't know if it would be my like after work drink, right? Like I'm tired, I come home, I just need something easy. This is more like I'm gonna get ramped up drink. I need something strong and punchy to get me going. Oh, apparently Whiskey Crusader says his blend is horrible. I believe it. It's better than Teeling Pot still. Okay. That's cool then. I'm excited. Teeling has Teeling, I love Teeling. Teeling seems to have had, I don't want to say a misfire, maybe a inconsistency with their new distilled stuff. I don't know. I mean, people may disagree with me, but that seems to be the impression I'm getting from the wider community. Haven't seen it around here, so I can't say for myself, but that's just the impression I'm getting. Anyway, I should probably call it a day because Erica's in the office. She's hard at work, and I'm probably bothering the fuck out of her. So I'm going to call it a day. This was just a fun little thing. We didn't have a video for the day, and I had the time off. So thank you for joining me. I'm surprised at how many people showed up. I thought this was just going to be something I was going to do, and you would all watch it in the replay. But yeah, this is awesome. Thank you guys for hanging out. We will be back on Monday with a proper video, so stay tuned for that. And if you have entered for Swillmageddon, you will be getting an email either tonight or tomorrow morning confirming your entry and giving you the address to send it to, because we are coming to the end of our entry time. So Should be good. Should be good. Everybody, thank you for tuning in to me day drinking. And until next time, oh, thank you, Patrick Irish. You're nice. Until next time, Slanchawa, stay safe, stay healthy, and